and welcome back to my channel. It's Freaky Friday. So if you follow me over on Instagram, then you will know that every Friday in October is Freaky Friday, and today's reading is for Prince. So give Prince some love in the comments. Leave some legendary love for the legend that he is. I am so honoured, so honoured to be graced with his energy, which, let me tell you, is the most flamboyant, amazing energy I have ever met in spirit. So I cannot wait to get on with this reading. Hit a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and let's just get straight into it. Oh my goodness, as I connect with Prince, let me tell you, he is absolutely fabulous. And he is saying one of the things he actually expressed and shouted. I've never kind of had this connection with spirit before, where I can see him so clearly. I can see his home in the spirit world and how flamboyant it is and how free he is. That's one of the first things he shouted when I connected with him. I'm free, literally, like, I'm free, like literally he screamed it. And my goodness, I started to, you know, speak to him and ask him questions, and I asked him about the industry and what happened, because there's so much conspiracy around Prince and how he lived his life. And my goodness, what he kept saying to me was, you have no idea how dark the industry is, you have no idea. And really, honestly, the feeling I get from him, it's as if a lot of us who are into conspiracy theories and things, we think that we know, and actually we have absolutely no idea. Prince talked about being a young artist and starting out in the industry, and he asked me, he said, look at every single artist that has ever become somebody. Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, they all come from very vulnerable foundations, very vulnerable beginnings. They are people looking for a place, looking for a home, looking to be wanted, looking to be adored, all of them. And he said, look at them, there is a reason why the industry hunts those people down. It's because they say, we can give you this, we can give you fame, we can give you fortune, we can make you money. And it's the money that captures them in. And then once they get them, they use them as a vessel to spit out subliminal messaging, all kinds of corruption they spit out through the music, through the advertisement. He's saying they want to use you as a tool, they want to use you as a puppet and as a vessel. And he said, I just wasn't there for that. And as soon as I realised that and wanted to get out, that's when they try and trap you, that's when they start spreading the stories about you. He said, they made me look crazy. I'm not crazy, I wasn't crazy, but they made him look crazy. And that's how it is. They trap you, they use you, and as soon as you want to turn against them, they really will ruin you. Now, the thing with the whole thing with Prince living alone and having his house gated off and all this kind of thing, as soon as I connected with Prince, one of the first things I felt with him, my goodness, I'm an empath, and if you're an empath, you will know how much and how drained you can be by taking on other people's energy. Prince, if I don't know what the levels of empath are, but he is the deepest level of empath you will come across. He didn't just take on other people's energy, he felt it to his core. And when I asked him why he put himself in solitude and why he locked himself away, he said it's nothing to do with being crazy. He said, I feel people's emotions so deeply, and I just don't like people. And I said, I can feel you there. No, I'm joking. I don't not like people. But, you know, as an empath, you feel things differently. You're much more sensitive. And he really felt things. Like, when he would meet someone and they would have gone through something traumatic, he really took that on as his own. And so really, to protect his energy, he did segregate himself for that. Because, let me tell you, Prince was highly psychic, highly spiritual, and highly intuitive. The people in the industry knew this about Prince, and he was dangerous to them. He could sense when things were going to happen. He was visionary, so he could see things into the future. He was very, very psychically gifted, and he knew when people were coming after him. Again, that's why he segregated himself off. He also knew how he was going to pass away. He knew who done it, and he knew how it was going to happen. Prince was murdered, okay? I can absolutely 100% confirm that. He is telling me he was murdered. He's telling me the men came in black suits. He's telling me the men came in black suits. He said, I knew they were after me for weeks, for months. I see him looking over his shoulders, very, very paranoid. very, very intense energy around that. He's like, I knew they were coming, I knew they were coming, because he had this psychic ability. Not only that, he was very wise and he was very knowledgeable. Prince was not stupid. If Prince saw you talking about him and you were in his close circle, which was extremely small, you were out. He didn't mess around. He was very, very cautious about who he had around him. He was very, very cautious about what he did and where he went, the food he ate, the things he drank, the places he went, the people he spent time with. He was a very cautious individual because he knew that he had wisdom that the industry didn't want him to share with the world. Okay. He keeps taking me back to signing the contract, okay, signing the contract, because he wants people to understand that when you sign a contract as an artist, you really sign away your life. And he's taking me back to that vulnerable stage. He's saying, my parents didn't understand me, I wasn't understood, I finally found a place where I was understood. I didn't read the T's and C's, I didn't read the small print, I just signed away. Finally, this is my dream. When you sign that dotted line, you sign away your life. He's saying, I fought and I fought and I fought and I fought to get out of that, and it was not easy. They had me handcuffed. He's making me put my hands behind my back, saying they had me handcuffed. He's saying, I'm free now. Oh, I can't say that. I can't say that. He's very jokey. He's a very jokey character, and this is all very flamboyant because he couldn't be like that here on Earth, because he had to be very protective over himself. He's saying, free at last, free at last. I'm sorry to say it, but that's what he said. He said, free at last, because he's saying they did enslave me. They did enslave me, and all these artists that you see, they are enslaved. Unless they're an independent artist, or unless they are also in coordination with the people on top. He keeps saying Beyonce to me. Yeah, unless they are in coordination with the people on top, they are enslaved to the business, and it's something that a lot of people don't understand. And he's saying the industry is so much darker than you would ever think. Okay, my goodness, he's got so much to say, but as I envision him, he's like bouncing around and dancing around because he really wants to make it clear of how free he is now and how carefree he is now. Okay, he's saying, I did not take drugs. There was nothing wrong with my health. They wanted to get me. I had plans. I had documentaries. He's saying, I had documentaries coming about the industry. My gosh. They got to me sooner than I could express what I needed to say. Okay, Prince is taking me to the scene. This is quite dark. The scene of where he died, and I actually just see him. He's literally standing waiting for these people to come in, and they're big men in black suits. Prince was murdered, 100%. I don't actually know what they put down as the cause of death for Prince. I'm not actually sure. Was it overdose? He's telling me they put suicide. They tried to put it as suicide. He's saying they killed me. Oh wow, okay. He is literally saying they killed me. He's saying we've got to be smarter, you've got to be better, you've got to be wiser. Okay. He's saying artists in the industry are nothing more than money makers to the people on top. And again, he's taking me back to signing on the dotted line and how you really do sign your life away. He's talking about a son. Did Prince have children? He's talking about people that are with him on the other side. My mum, my dad, my son. Did Prince have children? He's got a son with him on the other side. Okay. Don't believe everything you read, because most of the time the people that are written about are the people that are trying to speak truth. Dig a little deeper, read between the lines. This is the same kind of message that we got from Nipsey Hussle. Was it Nipsey Hussle? Read between the lines. Read between the lines. Be smarter. Be smarter, yeah. Prince is actually saying that I don't want my legacy to be music. I want my legacy to be truth. Please research more into me and find out what I was truly trying to speak about. Prince really tried to speak and they muted him. They muted him at all costs. They muted him at all points. Every time he tried to say something, they would release another story. Prince is gay. Prince is crazy. Prince is on drugs. He's saying that none of this is true. He's saying, okay, I may have been gay. Bisexual. but the rest isn't true. He's just literally being like, to them, he's just shrugging it off and being like, what are you going to do now? Because now I'm free and now I'm here, and that's something they don't understand. They may have killed me and taken my physical body, where I was miserable anyway. He said, he's so sassy. He's saying, where I was miserable anyway, he's saying, but look at me now. Look at where I am now. I'm free. And from here, I can influence in spirit and I can spread the truth. And he will. I feel like Prince, he was very spiritual here on earth, even though he really went through dark times and he spent a lot of time alone and in solitude, again because he was intensely spiritual, again because he had intensely spiritual gifts. He could see the future, he could read people, he had to lock himself away because I think it drove him a little bit crazy. There was a lot of downloads coming into him, a lot of downloads. He's saying, I was always spiritual, I always understood, I wasn't scared that they were coming for me. They didn't understand what I would be able to do from here. And I feel like from where he is, he does try to move situations around and put people in certain places so that the truth can be spoken. He's saying there is an artist coming that will resemble me. In the next 2022, in the next 3 years, there's an artist coming that will resemble me, and he's saying that the media will also try and bring them down. He's saying, please stand with this artist. They will also talk about me, so you'll know it's them. Please stand with them and respect them, and know that I am also with them and trying to channel through them as well, and let the truth be heard. If you see people trying to speak the truth, please back them up. Please stand with them. It's only together as people that we can fight this evilness in the world. And he's really coming in strongly on that. He said, no one backed me. He's saying, no one backed me. People just read and thought I was crazy. No one stood for me. He's like, I want you to stand together. He's saying the human race needs this. He's saying the human race needs this. Okay, I'm going to pull some cards now. My goodness. Prince. Okay. People tried to pay him, you know. People tried to pay him to be quiet, and he was like, nope. Nope. And he wants to talk about being called the artist formerly known as Prince as well, because he's saying the only way I could cut ties, I didn't want anything to do with the industry, I didn't want anything to do with the labels, I didn't want anything to do with them, I wanted them gone, I wanted them out of my life. And that's why I rebelled, and that's why I stood up, and that's why I called myself the artist formerly known as Prince. 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 Not surprised to see that card there. Oh, these two fell out. He likes to speak. He likes to speak a lot, and he's not really fond on the cards. I'll be honest, I probably could have done this whole reading without picking any cards because he's not really that bothered about them. He likes to speak. He wants to have his chance to speak. Okay. That is really, really interesting. Pretty much all of these cards stand for the same thing. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles stands for success in your ventures, success in business, success in relationships. The Three of Pentacles talks about creative success, so receiving money for your creativity. Of course, Prince received money for his arts. Three of Wands talks about self-expression. Prince, although he did feel imprisoned, in the beginning, he found self-expression through his music, the way he could, like he said, express himself, be himself in a way he couldn't be with his family. He had that here. And finally, he felt like things were turning in his favour. The Nine of Pentacles talks about order and pleasure, okay? So he is talking about how his life was planned out. He's also talking about how he knew how his life was going to go from a very young age. He'd seen his future, because like I said, he was a visionary, he was a psychic. So he was very comfortable with the way things were going to go. He knew he was going to pass away in the way that he did. He knew he was going to pass away at the age that he did. That all of this happened in perfect order. So, you know, the money came with the creativity, it gave him the self-expression, it put him on the top. This was all happening in divine order. This was all going the way that it was meant to go. He was calm. He knew what the outcome was always going to be. Okay, he knew what the venture was going to be. The Queen of Wands talks about inspiration and passion, and he was able to take his inspiration and put it into his work, and he wanted to take it and go a little bit more further. The Two of Wands does talk about a reliable partner, okay? This is where we sum up everything, and it's really quite simple. It's very, very quite simple. The Two of Wands in this reading represents Prince's relationship with the label, the company, and the people that are above that. I don't want to say Illuminati, but the organisations that are above the label that present themselves to us as certain music labels, but are really other people who are trying to dominate our minds and brainwash us. So all of this loveliness here is all of his creativity and all of his expression and all of the money and the goodness and all of the release that he's got, and he partners up with this company, which is meant to be a reliable partner. It's meant to be a partner that is the same as you, that thinks the same as you, that feels the same as you, and ultimately, the whole thing ends in heartbreak. Because in Prince's physical life on the earth plane, that is how it played out. He got stabbed in the back by numerous people. He tried to go to people, he's showing me, he tried to go to people that he thought were his friends in the industry and say, look, do you know that they're doing this? Do you know that they're trying to do this to me? Do you know that they're trying to take my money? Do you know that they're trying to stop me from saying this and stop me from doing that and stop me from being this? And these people were like, yeah, just shut up and take it. And he was ultimately just stabbed in the back. It was like everything that they'd given him and everything that he'd worked for, this reliable partnership that he had, it was always doomed. It was always going to end in heartbreak. Three of Swords is the heartbreak card. And that is his penultimate card in this reading. Prince just wants to clear up the rumours. He wants you to know that you shouldn't believe everything you hear, and you shouldn't believe everything that they say, because there is more to it. And if you dig a little deeper, we have the internet now, if you dig a little bit deeper, the truth is out there. And he's also saying, make up your own mind. You were given your own mind, use it. Don't let them use your mind and put thoughts into your mind and let you think a certain way. He really wants to express that. He's really saying, be yourself, be unique, be individual, be fabulous. Be like me, because he is unique and he is fabulous, and he was not willing to allow them to put him in a box. And that's what he's saying, take a stand, take a stand. He is talking about the next generation that are coming up and how there will be he's now talking about the earth, okay, because like I said, he is sorry, I'm getting a lot of downloads from here, and I feel like this is how he got downloads as a psychic being as well. But he's talking about the earth and the shift that we're going through and the changes that are happening, and how we are going to see a lot more riots and a lot more protests, and a lot more, you are going to hear a lot more about people rising up against subliminal messages in the media. He really wants to push that. He really wants to say, take a stand, please stand together, because together we can make the world a better place. And he's really pushed these, oh my goodness, the energy is intense. He said, if I could have done it here, I would, but they were coming for me and I just didn't get the chance. But I have left legacies with people, and I will keep pushing from where I am, but we need you. He's saying, he's talking about the angels in spirit. There are angels in spirit that are trying to shift our awareness and shift our energy here on earth. And he's saying, I'm working so strongly with them to try and shift the awareness of the planet so that we can turn it around. At the moment, I've talked about this before, the planet is being ruled by dark forces. The planet is being ruled by dark energy, and he just wants to bring some light into that. And he's saying the way that we can do that, the way that you can do that, is by finding out your own truth and stop listening to others and stop listening to other people and stop listening to the media. Find out for yourself. He wants you to find out for yourself, because the truth is there to be found. My goodness, my gracious. Oh, leave some purple hearts in the comments for Prince. What a beautiful man. Thank you so much, Prince. Thank you so much. God bless. He's pulling away. Thank you so much. Oh, bless. You can tell he's so spiritual, because as he walked away, he just did the kind of Buddha bow and he's backed away. My gosh. That is the most incredible reading I have ever done, and wise words from a wise man. And I think he just wanted to set his story straight, get the story clear, and spread the word and the message of living through love and light. So thank you so much for watching this reading. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please hit a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below what you thought of the reading. Some purple hearts for Prince. And I will see you soon for another reading. Thank you so much for watching, lovelies. Bye.